Ta-da! I am here again. Hello, hi, how are you doing? I hope you are doing great. I am happy to see you here again. Welcome to my class. Welcome to Thacienne's class. I hope you have been enjoying our videos, and if you like our videos, I always ask you to click like and share the videos to your network. Why not commenting? If you have something in your mind and you want to let us know what is it, please write it in the comment. If it's your first time to be here, please don't go without subscribing. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notification bell so that you will get notified anytime we upload a video. Yeah, so in today's presentation, I'm going to tell you how to create a function in R, our own function. So far we have used many functions, different functions. For instance, we have used the function hist to make histograms, table to make frequency tables, subset to subset a data frame. But all those functions, they are not our own functions. They are built in R, or they are imported from given libraries. So how about creating our own functions? We may need a function which is not built in R or is not anywhere in a given library, and we need to create it. How can we create our own functions? So if you are interested in this topic, please don't go. Hold on and watch from start to the end. I hope you are going to enjoy today's presentation. So let's start. Yeah, so the first step when you want to create your own function, the first step is to define, let me write it, define the structure. The structure of your function. You have to define the structure of your function. In general, a function is composed by three main parts. And the first part is the name of the function. This is the first part. I just write it. The first part should be the name of the function. You have to name it. You name your function, and please make a clear name so that everybody who sees the name will understand, will have at least the overview of what the function is intending to be used for. Yes, define the name, and the name should be understandable. Yeah, so and the second part is the arguments. The second part is the arguments or the input. Let me call it input. Yeah, inputs to the function. Let me say this. Let's say that you want to cook a given dish. When you want to cook something, you need to know the ingredients to include in your recipe. So those ingredients, so consider these inputs like ingredients that are needed to make our function. Ingredients like, let's say if you want to make a simple omelette, you need first eggs. You need maybe salt, I don't know. Maybe you need some little onions, depending on how you make your omelette. So those ingredients that are very important to make the omelette, so let's consider them like inputs. So for a function to function, we need some inputs. So define those inputs very well and in a clear way. And then the other part, the last part, is the body. And the first part, the body of the function. The part of the function where you define what you want to do, what you want to use for those ingredients. it's like if we go back to our example of making omelette after having your ingredients. So maybe let's say that there is a step where you have to take add this, a mix, and then maybe put it on the pan. So then all those things that you are doing, you doing them using those ingredients. So in the body, it's where you define what to do with your inputs. You define what to do with your inputs. Yeah, so then with these three main parts, you will be able to make your own function. Yeah, so let me work through in the general structure of a function. Let's say that we should have a function name, and then you assign this function, and then after function you add parentheses. Then inside the parentheses, this is where you put your inputs, your ingredients. Inputs. Here, the inputs are different arguments, different things that you need for your function to function. And then after the inputs, you use these square brackets, these ones. Yes, and inside those ones, that's where you will define everything that you want to do. Just write here what you want to do. Yeah, what to do with your inputs. Yeah, so you write here what to do with your inputs. That's the general form of the function. How you can define a function in general. It is like this. Yeah, let's see one example to make this clear. Let's say that we want to add 5 to any given number. We have numbers and we want to create a function that will add 5 to any given number. So we need to add 5 to n given number. So what do we need in this case? In this case, we need to define the name of our function. The name, let me call it add 5. Add 5. This is the name. Then you assign. What do you assign? We assign function, then parentheses. Then in parentheses, what the ingredients do we need? If we want to add 5 to any given number, so the ingredient that we need that number. Which number do we want to add 5 to? So the ingredient is a given number. And then we use this square brackets, and then inside these square brackets, we define what to do with this ingredient number. What do we want to do with this ingredient number? If this number, we want to calculate the sum of this number and 5, because we want to add 5. Then what do we want to do? We want to calculate, let's say S or result. Let me call it result. What do we want to get? We want to get the number, that's the ingredient, plus 5. Sorry, plus 5. We want the number plus 5. And then what do we want to return? You return. Don't forget this one. If you want to return something, then we want to return the result. The result. This is our function. This is the function that I have already defined. Yeah, so let R know this function. If I click enter, control enter here, then I will get my function known by R. Here, if you can see it here, we already have this function here. And if you go to the environment as well, you will find the function there. Let me show it to you. Here we have the function add 5 in the environment. So R know our function. We have already defined our first function. Then how can we use this function that we have already made? We have already created. Let's say I have number equals let's say 7. I have number equals 7, and I want to calculate 7 plus 5 using our function that we have already created. How do we do that? We just write add 5, the name of the function, say add 5. Our function is add 5. Then we put we give to the add 5. So you see, it pop up here already because R knows it. We have already defined it and we enter it to R, then R knows it. Then it will already tell you that. Let me do it again so that you can see it. If I do like this, then it will tell you that this function need a given number. Then in our case, the number is 7. Then the number like this. Then if I click enter, it will return 12. Do you see 12 here? Yeah. It means our number, which is 7, plus 5, which is operated in this function, using this function, add 5, then it will return 12. So if I go to the console here, let's say I want to apply this function to different values. Let me say add 5. Yes, add 5. If I say add 5 20, it will return 25. Then if I say add 5 2, it will return 7. If I say add 5 30, it will return 35. So you see, we have already made our first function, add 5, any number plus 5. If I say add 5 minus 5, add 5, it will return 0. Then minus 5 plus 5 equals 0. So our function is working well. Hooray! Our first function is already created. Yeah, so since now we know the general structure of a function, we may need to set up default function for our input values. So that's the next step. Let me say step 2. Step 2 is setting up default values for our inputs, for the arguments. For instance, for this function that we have just defined, this function, we may set up a default value for the value number, so that in case we just call the function this way using like add 5, and inside parentheses here we don't put anything and we run the function, what the function can return. In this case, it will return the value that is obtained from the default value of our input number. So then how do we set default values for our inputs? Let me copy this function here, then I want to, it is not even necessary to copy it. So when we want to set up default values, let's say if I put equals 0 here, in this case, I'm setting the value number to be 0 anytime that I don't specify the number. if the number is not specified, the function will consider the number to be 0. So in this case, let me change the function then, so that R will know that I have set some default values. I have already clicked Control Enter. Now R knows that the function has some default values. So in this case, if I write, let me go to console, and maybe let me clean this one so that you can see it very well. If now I call add 5, the function is add 5. If I specify the arguments, let's add 5 to 3. As usual, our function will add 5 to 3 and we will get 8. But if I write add 5 and I don't specify the input argument, I put empty here, then the function will return 5. Why the function returns 5? Because I have set the value number to 0 here. So then it is taking 0 and add to 5. To make it clear, let me change the value 0. If I set the number to 10, for instance, in this case, then if I don't specify the number, this function will return 10 plus 5. Let's check it so that you can see it. I change the function first, and then I call add 5. I make it up here so that you can see it well. Let me clean this. And yeah, yes. Then add 5. Then I don't specify the number to add 5 to. And I click enter. The function returns 15. Why? Because I have set the default value of the number to be 10. So guys, yeah, you can set the default values for your ingredients. Let me make another function. Here. Let's say add sum. Let me call it sum. The function sum. And this function, what we will do, function, and I want a function to compute the sum of two numbers. So what will be the ingredients, guys? What will be the inputs? The inputs will be those two numbers. Let's say x and y. We should have two numbers, x and y, or a and b. So then after getting the ingredients, what the function will do in the body, we want the function to compute the sum. Then we call it s. Then s equal to x and plus y. And the function should return, what should the function return? The function should return s, the sum. I have just defined this function. Now the function is known by R as sum. And then let's say that I want, for instance, to compute the sum of 1 plus 1. Then I have to write sum, and then the function will say, what do we want to sum? X and y. Then x is 1 and y is 1. Then the function, if I click Control Enter, the function will return 2 here. 1 plus 1 equal 2. So what if I want to set the default values for x and y? So if I specify x equal to 0, let's say 0, and y equal to, let's say 0, then in this case, and then I update my function, and then in this case, if I compute sum like this, and I don't give any number there, no numbers to sum, then I compute the sum, Control Enter. See, it returns 0. Why does it return 0? Because I have set the default inputs as 0 and 0. So 0 plus 0 equal to 0. Yeah, So that's how we can set the default values to be returned by a function. Yeah, so the other things that we might need to know in creating our own functions is how to break the body into different parts. Let me call it step 3. Step 3, in step 3 is like writing, let me call it writing the body of a function. Yeah. So when writing a body of the function, we may need to split the body into different parts. Suppose, for instance, that I want to make a function that will create the volume of a cube. Guys, do you remember how to calculate the volume of a cube? What do we need when we want to calculate the volume of the cube? What do we need? What do we need? I think we need the size of the side of the base. Yeah, that's enough. That's the side. The side of the base, because it's a cube. Since it's a cube, now the side and height are equal, so equal side and height. And we need to compute the volume of a cube. We know that the volume of that cube is equal to the size to power 3. But why? Because we need to take the area of the base multiplied by the height. The size of the height. So let me call this function, I call it, let me say, volume cube, like this. So everybody who can read volume cube will understand that we need to compute a function that will calculate the volume of a cube, and then function as a keyword, function. Then what do we need as ingredient? What is the argument? So the argument will be the side. Oh, yeah. So then how will we write the body? One may need to just compute the volume, like volume equals to side to power 3, like this, and then return the volume. Return V. I have written V, return V. This function will compute the volume. Let me know this function, the volume. If, for instance, I have side, let me clean this. For instance, I have side equal 5 meter. Let's say 5. Then I want to compute the volume cube. The function is already volume cube. It pop up that we need the side. Then you enter side and enter not equal. Then enter. It will compute 125 because C5 power 3, 125. But now, guys, you may need to split this part, the body, into parts. For instance, one may need to first specify the area of the base, and then after defining the area of the base, he will multiply it by the side to get the volume. What do we do? You may first need to compute the area base equal the area of the base will be equal to what? It is a square. Then it should be equal to side and times side. So you see, Then after having the area of the bus, then you may need to compute the volume after that. Then the volume will be, in this case, area base, then times side, like this. And again you return the volume. So this will be the same. It will be the same function, but we have CPU. We have like divided the body part into different parts. So, and one may comment, want to comment, like if you want to comment, you use this sign. This is the hash sign. Then then you can comment like area of bus. And then here you can comment that now this is the volume. So you see, yeah, however you want it to be, you can just split the body into different parts, or you can just you just make it in the way it will be easily understandable for everybody who will read your function. So let me update this function this way, like this. And again, if I compute volume cube 5 with the updated function, of course, it will again compute 125. So you see, however you want your body part to be, just define it in a way it will be comprehensible for everybody. Everyone who wants to use the function will understand what the function do and how to use it. Ta-da! Good. So before ending today's presentation, I have to say this. There is some functions that do not need arguments, do not need these inputs. For instance, let me give you one example. There is this function. If I define, there is a function, I want to like return the date. Today is date, the system date, and let me say date. I call it date, or today. Let me call it today. Today is hold on. I plug my computer. I plug. Hold on. Yeah. So the function, I call it today date. Today's date. And I define it this way. I define it, then the keyword is function as usual. Function, then no arguments, no input in this function, empty. And then inside the square brackets, I will like tell the function to return what the function should return. The function should return the system, it's the sys.date. Sys.date, like this. So I let R know this function, like this. Now function is known. If I call this function, let me clean this. Yeah, so if I call today, I have called it today date. So we don't need any arguments, the way it is defined. Then, ta-da! We got that today is 24th of September 2024. We don't need arguments, yeah. So, guys, there is several ways of defining the function, but the general form is that form that I have already told you, but this is another advanced way. We don't need argument in this function. So, but the function is still functioning. Yeah, we may also need loops to create functions. Yeah, depending on what we want the function to do. Then you will need those loops, and if you remember in the last video we want how to use the for loop, the if. Yeah, depending on what you want the function to do, you define it the way you want it to do, but the general form is that one. You need the function name, the arguments, and the body pattern. Then you let the function know what to return. That's it. I hope you have enjoyed today's presentation. So then please click like and share the video to your network, and I hope to see you next time. If you enjoy my videos and you don't click like, how do I know that you like the videos? And if you don't like the videos, why not? You can even click dislike if you don't like the video, but if you like, then click like. And if you want something to say about it, write it in a comment so that I can get to know what you get from me or what you want me to talk about for the next videos in the future. So thank you for being with me in today's presentation, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.